Hey everyone, welcome to the Tech and Real Estate podcast, where we bridge the gap between real estate and technology. I'm your host and data scientist, Ariel Herrera, and today we have Illya Nayshevsky, AI engineer and CTO of Parasphere. Parasphere is a proptech company that provides a zero commission listing platform for homeowners. In this conversation, you'll learn how AI and GPTs are transforming real estate, as well as how Parasphere is leveraging this technology to bring data at homeowners' fingertips. All right, let's get started. Welcome to the show, Illyas. Super excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, it's always great to talk to someone else who is as deep into technology and especially in the real estate space as yourself. So if you could give a brief background of how you ended up being the CTO of Parasphere.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have quite an unconventional background for an AI engineer. I have a PhD in polymer chemistry and started out as a chemist. And I quickly learned that chemists don't really make as much money as I thought they did. So I pivoted to finance, and I had an investment advisory firm in New York City for some time. And then I realized that data is, the source of all the information that I was using for trading. And I got really excited about data. And I worked for People Data Labs for a while, which is a data provider. And then I met Jackson and Evan, and we kind of brainstormed some ideas and figured out that Parasphere and our current product is very much needed, and was very excited to work on it.
Excellent. Love the path that you took. A lot of data folks kind of start unconventional and then data finds them. And it's excellent that you've dabbled so much into AI since. So what are some of your thoughts about how AI is changing the landscape, especially in real estate today?
Yeah, I think just like any new technology that drastically changes our entire society, AI is doing just that by providing more efficiency and letting us execute our ideas more effectively. And for example, in real estate, one of the biggest problems that we've noticed in particular is inefficiencies in acquiring data about homes in order to list them, and then ineffectiveness in marketing those homes and providing that data in a way that is consumable by people who are looking for homes or people who are looking to sell homes. And the main culprit for that is people, right? So people have to go into the home. You have to find these people. You have to find the realtor. Maybe somebody's recommended to you. And usually the people who recommend you a realtor did one transaction only. So, and we all know that N of one is not a good data set, right?
Yeah.
But you resort to working with that realtor, and he has to come in, ask you questions, take pictures, then go back to his office and do hours of research. And it just seems a bit inefficient now that we do have these tools where we have wonderful visual analytical tools and large language models that are able to intake multiple modes of data, such as vision, video, and tabular data like text, and provide insights into that data and able to nowadays explain it and present it in a way that is more effectively consumed by the persons that are interested in buying or selling the homes. So integrating this technology just seems like a no-brainer nowadays, especially this year when there have been so much advances in developing
Oh.
large language models, and in particular adding multimodality, where we are able to process videos and photos alongside text and other tabular data.
Right, because initially these LLMs, I think, specialize more so in a text aspect, but now it's consumable in different areas. And if we could touch a little bit more on the image recognition, and what are some of the things that can help there using LLMs in real estate?
Yes, so today, well, nowadays, actually, LLMs market themselves as multimodal. So they're able to take in image and video and text. However, under the hood, there's actually multiple models that are running that are processing video and text separately. Usually they are object detection algorithms, object segmentation algorithms that process the images and provide text data to LLMs. We all heard about DeepMind's Gemini project by Google
Yeah.
that is marketed as a first fully multimodal LLM. However, I'm a bit skeptical at this point, even though I've commented quite a lot about it on LinkedIn. But the way that these systems are designed to work right now is you have multiple models and they all work together. And advancement in each one of those models is critical in order for the whole system to work properly. And in my opinion, we will still have multiple models well into the
Mhm.
future. And we'll call them multimodal, but it'll be a multimodal system as opposed to a single multimodal model. And that's the approach we're taking as well.
Excellent. And taking a step back in terms of multimodal, someone maybe not as versed into technology may think like, what is a model? And now you're talking about multi-models. Like, if you could just give a little bit of a background of that you're breaking that down for someone to understand.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so let's take a step back and define a model. And a model is basically what's called a set of weights. And you can think of it as a very, very large Excel sheet with weights. And those weights are used to make predictions, and those weights are obtained from training of a model. So it's the way I like to think of it, it's the essence of the data. So you have all this data in numbers, words, Booleans, all these kinds of data types, and you feed it through multiple layers of your machine learning model, and it distills it into its essence and into its image. And you can use that image in order to make inferences on other similar data. And for a long time, it had one modality. You take a tabular data, you take, let's say, an Excel sheet of data, and you can train your model on it, and then you would give something similar, and it will tell you what the result should be. In the past 5 or so years, there's been a big movement towards introducing new modalities or new types of data. And those primarily are segmented into video, image, language, which is large form text or conversational language like a chatbot, or tables of data, which is numbers or formulas or whatnot. And we have models with running each one of these modalities or different data types. For example, you would have Midjourney generating images using generative AI, right?
Huh.
And you would have ChatGPT answering you in text, which is a chatbot. But in past 6 months to a year, there's been a big move to combine those into one system. And for example, ChatGPT uses a number of models. It's not just GPT-4 is not one model. It's actually probably dozens of models chained together. But it provides this experience of being able to give your model an image or a video
Mhm.
or sound, like with OpenAI's Whisper, and it will return to you a result in the mode that you want. So you can tell GPT-4, hey, show me an image of a kitten with voice using Whisper, and it will provide you a picture of AI-generated kitten. And you can see how 3 modalities were now used: voice to text, text to image, right? And that's what modality pretty much is, different data
Excellent
types.
explanation. Yeah, the chaining of different models together. And I love the way you described it. It was very easy to understand. And would love to dive a little bit more into Parasphere specifically of how you guys are utilizing these AI models and LLMs today.
Yes, so let's see what I can and can't talk about. So what I can say is we are using multiple modalities. Right now we're using image and text. Our text is a little bit modified to return JSON responses. So our text model is pretty much like a JSON API at this point. It was trained to do so, so it can interact with our application. And we basically use TensorFlow, which is Google's package for image analysis,
Yeah.
to build image segmentation object detection models to be able to intake images of that you consumer would obtain within their home and be able to identify objects in those images. And we would then have a few layers of LLMs that intake the text data about those images and deduplicate them. So we get a list of unique images for a particular room. And that way we build a complete profile of a
Mhm.
property just from looking around with your phone. And we actually abstract away the image data by video. So we realized that instead of user walking around and taking pictures of each room, it's not very clear about what the angle of picture should be or how many
Yeah.
pictures each room needs. So we just let a user record a video of their home, just walk around with their phone in front of them, and we extract pictures that we need, identify the object, and build a complete profile about the house. So what kind of color walls you have, what kind of
Wow.
objects you have in your wall, like in your home, for example, a fireplace, staircase, architectural design aspects, everything that we might need to know, building materials. And we take that profile of a home and pair it with tabular data, such as demographic data, neighborhood data, uh, comps, pretty much, so similar homes in your neighborhood, as well as data that we can obtain about that property in particular, such as how many acres of land does it sit on, and when was it last transacted, its transaction history, and we just have this complete profile of a life cycle of a home paired with inferences from images that gives us unprecedented view of the essence of that home, right?
Yeah.
When was it born and what is it like now? What were the numbers when it was built? What are the numbers of it now? Did somebody add extra rooms or whatnot? But also we extract that visual information that is crucial to determining whether somebody likes something or whether something's worth whatever it's
Mhm.
worth. And one of the analogy I like to give is, for example, you have a granite countertop in your kitchen. It might be worth X amount of dollars in New York City, but it might be worth much less in Austin, Texas, because maybe granite is mined locally there. And we are taking that information about the origin of each building material and also use it in tabulating the overall price of the property. And that gives us a unique view into being able to determine the price of the property based on the objects inside. How much does each object drive the value of the property? And in the future, it would give you suggestions of what, for example, modification you should make to your home in
Yeah.
order for a given amount of money in order to increase your property value by X amount of dollars. And from what I see, not a lot of people are doing these kinds of analytics, and we found that we have to do it. Like it's just a no-brainer, right?
Wow, so many golden nuggets there. I could see so many different use cases of why understanding the ins and outs of the home from beginning to its current life and all the objects inside of it could really help in different facets for like the homeowner, for agents, for someone who's even an investor as well, maybe deciding like what upgrades they should be doing. Like I've seen a lot of folks, they get HELOCs on their property to revamp it, and they maybe just do like an entire deck in their backyard. But in actuality, if they would have redone their kitchen, it would have added a lot more value for them. So is that where you see Parasphere going in terms of recommendation to users of like what areas of their home they should be revamping or rehabbing?
Yeah, that we can see sometime down the line where we'll tackle that, and that's one
Yeah.
of my in my opinion one of the most exciting use cases for this data. But we're starting out with letting users be able to build a property profile on their own and be able to sell their home on their own without the inefficiencies of using a realtor,
Yeah.
which usually charges 2 to 6% and of a home. And in my opinion, with modern day technology, it just doesn't make sense. It's too much money, right?
Yeah.
And we would like to empower the user to be able to effectively gather information about their home in a way
Got it.
that they can convey to the buyer. So, for example, everything about their home, also mechanical, MEP, like mechanical, electrical, plumbing, what kind of appliances they have, home design, building materials, neighborhood data, demographic data, put that together into one beautiful profile that can be served to a buyer, and connect the seller to a buyer and let them, figure it out. And I think that is probably the direction that real estate industry will be going in the future, is eliminating inefficiencies, and
Yeah.
monetary inefficiencies are the biggest things that people look at. It's 2 to 6% of the value of a home. I mean, even a stockbroker doesn't charge that, and they handle way more money than a realtor, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty fair amount. And it's not like it's, so difficult to acquire this data, whereas like a lot of maybe transformations or manipulation, it's just like this information is maybe sitting on the MLS on one page or on the county records on another page. And it's just a common homeowner. It's a black box. They don't understand how to obtain all this data, but you're basically kind of unveiling a way of being able to get that power back of having the data at their fingertips, and in an easy way where they could just, like you said, scan their property. They don't have to even like type things online. They can just use video to be able to get that data.
Absolutely. And they get the data about the property with the video, and we tap into all the data resources and do all the heavy lifting of getting that hard to get data for them. And then we process it in a way that is readable and understandable by human. Because nobody wants to read tables on Zillow, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I really like that you mentioned how you're considering the location as well. Like you said, with the granite countertops of one area that could be less costly, another area more costly, and locality is so important in real estate. Are there any other findings that you've noticed when looking at using Parasphere in different regions?
Yes. So right now we're focusing on the tri-state area plus Pennsylvania. So New York, New Jersey, Connecticut in the Northeast plus Pennsylvania. And in those regions, we have some interesting inferences that we have made. I'm not sure if I can talk about them here, or as a matter of fact, there's so many I can't even kind of bring up one. But what's important to one of the important things that I've noticed is value of the land. It
Mhm.
matters quite a lot, right? So closer to New York City, people value square feet over square feet of their interior over lot size, and people
Yeah.
in Pennsylvania value lot size over square feet of their home. And that's one of the inferences that we were able to determine. But there are quite a few others that I'm not sure if I can talk about right now.
Yeah, that's fine. I love that you guys are starting with the tri-state area, which is yeah, where I'm originally from. So it's from home. And then getting that correct before branching out just regionally. What I've seen is, as we've been doing coffee closers on our end, um, the need to want to see everything nationwide at once. But then what you get is a product that actually isn't really good accuracy wise in any location. So I think starting at a particular location first and then scaling up is the right approach, which is what you're taking.
Yeah, absolutely. And each region kind of has its own thing going on, and
Yeah.
you have to understand it and be able to extract that data. And yeah, so we decided to start small and get tri-state area right, and then we'll be able to grow outwards and hopefully cover our entire US within a year or so. Yeah.
Excellent. And on our podcast, we do have some folks who they are aspiring entrepreneurs as well. They maybe want to build their own prop tech apps in the future. So for someone who's diving into AIs and AI engineer or data scientist, dabbling into it, what are some considerations for responsible AI to make sure that they're building products in the right way?
Yeah, so a lot of the tools that people will use out of the box, you can't really have too much effect over being responsible.
Mhm.
But if you start hosting your own models, for example, security is probably number one thing. Make sure you don't run your model on your own server, for example. Use AWS, Google Cloud, right? Azure. And also, this field is evolving very fast. And for example, last week there was a discovery made in Europe where malicious attackers were able to affect LLM models, multimodal LLM models in
Oh,
particular,
wow.
without using text. And what they basically did is they embedded words or scripts in images and submitted those images for inference to these LLMs like ChatGPT
Wow.
or Claude or whatnot. And they were able to hack those platforms and influence decision making. So, and that's new. Nobody thought about this before. So now we're at Parasphere thinking, okay, so now we need to screen all the videos and images to make
Yeah.
sure that somebody doesn't just record a video of some code or some words and, blast our LLM endpoint and try to affect the way that results are produced for other users. So for us to be responsible, you have to stay up to date with, the ever-evolving news cycle for LLMs and cybersecurity, and use best practices, right? Make sure that you're the only one that has access to your platform on the back end, and make sure you use trusted engineers that are not going to run away with your code. Some of these basics, but also stay ahead of the curve, read the news, and make sure that you implement all the new recommendations for security with language models in particular.
Excellent advice. And to close things out, would love to know where others can follow you at Parasphere. And also, if you can mention, what are some things that are in the near term upcoming that you're really excited about to share?
Yeah, so let me start with things that are coming out in the near term. And I think that kind of can pivot us to where you can find us. So we are on the final stages of developing our application for to be released for people to use. And we currently have a wait list, which you can go on parasphere.io or parasphere.ai and register for a wait list. We'll be opening up the wait list in batches in Q1 for people to come in and use our applications and test it. And by Q2, by beginning to middle of Q2, it should be open to everybody to download and use. And right now, this application will be able to give you access to our pricing algorithm and our profile builder. So you'll be able to take your phone, walk through your home, record a video, half hour later, you have your property profile with valuation. And in the future, we do hope to integrate certain things such as ability to let you list your home. First, we're going to open up our own marketplace, and then possibly give you a possibility to list on Zillow or Redfin as well, and maybe Craigslist or even MLS. We're kind of working on that. And it will be fully integrated with our proprietary LLMs that summarize the entire profile of the property and all the tabular data, and basically tell you what words to type into Zillow or Redfin to list the property. And at some point, it will automate the listing process completely. So our end goal is to be an end-to-end property evaluation, data acquisition, and listing platform, where all you need to sell your home is record a video, mark on a calendar which days you're available to show the house, open house per se, and that's it. That's all you need to do. And when you find a buyer that is worthy of your house, you can sell it. It's abstracting away the inefficiencies. That is the main concept of Parasphere at this point.
Incredible. You guys are really changing the game in real estate and technology. And I'm excited to continue to watch your journey and also hopefully sell a property through you guys in the future or purchase my next one. So with that, thank you so much, Ilya, for your time. And if someone wanted to reach out directly to you, is there an email or LinkedIn link that they should follow you on?
Yeah. You can reach out to Parasphere in general on Twitter, Instagram, any social platform. But if you want to reach out to me specifically, it's Illya at parasphere.io, and it's ILLYA at parasphere.io. So you can send me an email. Any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.